look for kind people. This whole hype, I want a man of God. I put a post, some people were dragging me. Some ladies don't want a husband, they want to marry their pastor. You listen, you'll be amazed. If God, listen, you can't marry me. I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about single pastors. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. My wife will kill you. Praise the Lord. When you listen to what they are saying, you need, sometimes you want to tell her, listen to yourself. You want somebody earning 400,000. Your father is not making that money. $400,000 a year. This person, fit farm, goes to the gym, has time to go to the gym. The person, your love language is quality time. What you are saying, this person prays 3 hours, does morning devotion with you, night devotion with you, is not possible. It's not possible. People have unrealistic expectations. Okay. So the point I'm making, I don't know how I got there. You get to choose. You are not forced. Don't come and you write names and you go and give prophets. That prophet should pick. Some people are even funny. You are dating Nehemiah, Benga, and Bola. Let me give an example. Then you were now reading the Bible. You now saw Nehemiah. You say, that's my husband. That's the quickened word. Guess what? You are being unfair because Benga and Bola are not in the Bible. That lucky deep method. You get what I'm saying, Abi? You write names and prophets. No pastor should pick husband or pick wife for you. And if you are an African Christian, there is a very high chance that you don't know the difference between leadership and manipulation. If you grew up in an African church, you have to rewire your mind. Because leadership is not control. Someone was saying something about just the fact that God gave us free will shows you how God leads. God doesn't overestimate himself in your life. He can be an advisor and he can be a commander depending on you. Yeah. You get to choose if you want him to advise you or you want him to command you. It depends. He doesn't overestimate himself in your life. There are some people that call me, PD, this person. Once they say God said, I keep quiet. I can't advise you after you say God said. You know, as I was praying, the Lord said, what you're telling me is, I don't need your advice. I'm informing you. After some 3-4 months, you will come back and tell me that God said no. I'll just be laughing. I can't tell you, but you said God said before. I'll just laugh at it. I say, okay, that's good. You'll be in a conversation with ladies. They will be describing the person like this. After describing, you're like, you know, you don't talk when ladies are talking. You just say, When they finish talking like that long, I'm telling you, real life. He's this, he's that, he's this, he's that, he's this. All the horrible things. Say, so what do you think, sir? I don't think you should be in that relationship. But sir, he's also... Then she now starts to... Like, you get what I'm saying? You have said all the wrong things. Now you are arguing for. So you're wondering, why are we talking? If you already know what you want to do. I told my wife, I said, when it comes to marriage, nobody should disturb me. If you marry the wrong person, live with it. There are some people, when they start talking and they start describing the situation, I used to tell my wife, I said, this marriage, it can't work. But as a pastor, I can't come and tell you that this thing cannot work. But I know it can work. Because it's either one person wants it to work and the other person doesn't. Or two of them are not ready to change. So this thing can work. So you get to choose. Okay? God didn't force anyone to accept him, even though he wants to be everyone's husband. Nobody should force you into marriage. Number 4. Remember, we are saying biblical tenets of marriage. Number 4, love and submission. Love and submission. As men, we learn to love like God. So if you're in marriage as a man, this is what you get. As men, we learn to love like God and be challenged to submit to him like our wives submit to us. I wish you could understand what I'm saying clearly. I'm saying as a wife, there is something you can teach your husband. You can teach him how to be a good wife to God. You are challenging him. And you have to understand that the test of submission is in disagreement. If we don't disagree, you can't submit. The test of submission is that I want to go A and you want to go B, and I say, let's go A. That's where submission comes in. If we are all agreeing B, then there's no test for submission. The test of submission is in disagreements. And I know it's very easy for you to say, that submission thing is hard. Because you are also saying something. You are seeing a clear picture. This is the way to go. And another person is telling you, no, it's not that way. And you are convinced in your mind that it's this way. The Bible prescription is that you follow that path. And what that shows you is that you cannot afford to pick wrong. I'm talking to ladies now, but I'm going to talk to the guys. You cannot afford to pick wrong. I'll tell you a story. I have an auntie that she got a vision from God to do a program for children, for small children. Okay? And she told her husband about it. And the husband said, no, we're not going in that direction. We don't have that kind of money to waste. No. So first year, second year, third year, fourth year, fifth year, sixth year, seventh year, eighth year, ninth year. And God was prompting her with this thing. She had to wait for 18 years. And she did it without the husband. She said, after 18 years, she said, no, I'm going to do what God said. So she got a hall. Thank God I didn't mention the states. So she got, if not, they will not talk about one problem. So she got a hall and planned for the program. Told her friends about it. She had people that were supporting her. Remember, her husband said no. They started praying towards it. They went to different churches that they want to do like a small meeting for children. And the plan was going about over 100 children had registered. So the day of the program came. She went early so she can pray. She was supposed to meet up with 2 other friends. She went early so she can pray. Her children, definitely, they are now grown. So her children are supposed to come and help her, support her. At least 2. She has 2, but 2. Supposed to come and help her and support her. So she left them at home, went there. When she got there, something happened. Her first son had issues with his stomach. He couldn't come. The second son, something happened to him, blah, blah. He was sick as well. He couldn't come. The people that they had been praying together, all of a sudden, all of them started calling out, sorry, won't be able to make it. She sat there during the time of the program. Only her. Not one child came. And she said she sat there. I'm telling you, real life story. She said she sat there and looked and said, God, out of all the money I spent, nobody came for this program. God said, what you are doing is not my will. She said she heard it, that God told her, what you are doing is not my will. He said, but God, you said to me. He said, but your authority didn't release you. I'm saying that, how do I preach? I need to be a good preacher. Do you get what I'm saying? I'm saying that if you get it wrong, you can't be right. If God says go and your husband says don't go, if you go, it's wrong. If you don't go, it's still wrong. You are big. Do you get what I'm saying? You can't be correct. If God says go, the man says don't go. If you go, it's wrong. If you don't go, it's still wrong. Two of them must align. And some people pick, they have spec. You can't pick like that. How can you follow someone that is not led? So as men, we learn to love like God and be challenged to submit to him like our wives submit. We also learn to extend grace just the way God extends grace to us when we fall short in our submission to him. I'll tell you something I noticed in my marriage. One time, I was struggling to pray because I didn't want to talk to my wife. So I sat there angrily, speaking in tongues, of course, very dry. Sharp praying it. So God is telling me, go and talk. I said, no. I need to prove a point. And at that point, I got into a conversation with her. I said, she doesn't listen. It was as though God opened my mind to see all the things he has told me, that I don't listen. I'm telling you that marriage is reflecting your work with God. So every time, and it's so strange, but I think you should test this. I want to know if it's only me. Everything my wife does that I don't like, I do it to God. I caught it. I saw it. I'm telling you, this thing liberated my marriage. Everything I do, my wife does that I don't like, I do it to God. If I just sit down and think about, I did this thing last week. This thing that she did, I did it last week. And God is not keeping malice with me. So immediately, I remember that grace. And another thing I thank God I quickly learned quick is that I'm not going anywhere. I've married this girl. Even if I play, I don't want to talk to her, I will still talk. So why not start? So we learn to extend grace just the way God extends grace to us when we fall short in our submission to him. As women, we learn to be led by the Spirit as our husband leads us. We also learn to trust and follow in spite of disagreements. If you can learn to trust a man, you can learn to follow in spite of disagreements. When the Holy Spirit tells you things that are very difficult to understand, it will be easy to follow him.